We take the phones off this shit. So.
Gentlemen, if you're following
You're welcome. No problem, no problem. Happy Valentine's Day. You're welcome. No problem, no problem. Happy Valentine's Day. Saadiq ranks a creative and corporate. It's Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. Make sure you're spreading some type of love because it comes back to you. So today, I don't know if you can tell by the title, the job market is weak. The job market is terrible. It's time to get creative. For the last, I would say like 5 months, I've been applying, interviewing, reaching out to people, cold emailing, and it's been very difficult to try to find openings that's been, kind of consistent. Some openings come up, then instantly go down. Sometimes you're reaching out to different people, and your resume doesn't even get screened. Like the AI is clipping it early. In addition to that, a lot of roles that are entry level or supposedly entry level need 2 to 3 years of experience anyway. So it's been very difficult for a lot of people, especially people that are trying to enter the workforce, to find a job. So what I'll be detailing in this video is talking about how you can pivot, how you can kind of like bolster up your social capital a little bit so you could be a better applicant, but also how to kind of like fortify yourself if you don't have a job. Literally, these last couple of weeks have literally been just that. So we're going to talk about it. All right, it's mad cold, so now I'm back in the crib. So first, starting off with bettering yourself as an applicant. You're trying to figure out, you see that AI is now screening a lot of different resumes, so you have to hit on the wow factors that an AI is going to be reading. What is that going to look like? That's going to be looking at keywords like SEO, keywords like if you're doing marketing, then you're probably going to put SEO or putting like paid media or putting strategist, these type of keywords that are going to make you as a better applicant. Then when it comes to just like basic resume stuff like percentages, numbers, like measurability within what you have done is obviously going to increase kind of like what it looks like for your resume. But I want to get into a little bit other solutions in which, if you have your resume down, if you don't, then there's other resources for that. But if you have your resume down, now what are ways in which we can show accomplishments that's going to look, and bolster you up as a better person, or I'm going to take this person over this person, and typically the first round is just AI. Then the second round is like people looking at your actual resume, people looking at what some other things you've submitted, right? So that's when they like include the URLs, like website alerts. Then you have like GitHub. Then you have maybe like a poetry page, or then you have like if you're a software engineer, your projects, right? These different projects, how to package these projects is where you're going to shine. Right, so what I've been working on is just called this creative portfolio, and I'm taking you through my projects. I'm taking you through my thought processes, how I'm going through, being a creative director, or how I'm going through being a photographer. What does Saadiq Ranks look like? If they don't want to go to my actual YouTube page, well, now they could just look through this and be like, oh, so I see what he's talking about. He's talking about advising people on social capital. He's talking about his journey abroad. He's advising people on the avenues that he went down through. So now we're able to kind of see that as an employer and be like, okay, he has something that's separating him, or he has a little flair. I'm able to show my charm through this creative portfolio. And that's still it. That's my medium, and that makes sense for me. But let's say you're a software engineer, or you're a project manager, or you do event planning, you do all these different disciplines. There's ways in which you could showcase that, right? Like I keep trying to tell all my friends, and this is for people that are either in college, not in college. These are people that have 5 years of work experience, have no work experience, might be 16. It doesn't matter, right? You have people that are on the same type of playing field as you, in which you could try to partner up and try to do different projects together, right? So all of my software engineer people, all my business people, right? Like I'm over here calling some people up right now because I'm trying to start up a newsletter, and these are ways in which I could fortify my resume, fortify whatever I'm doing, and yet because I'm fortifying this resume, I'm also finding out and building out skills in which is going to make me a better entrepreneur, right? But as I was saying before, if I had this app idea that I'm working with a couple of friends, and now we're all founders, and now we put that in our skills and professional experience, this is going to bolster us up as an applicant. People are going to ask those type of questions. When I had my last interview, when I got to the final round, it was the CEO. The first question that they asked me was, I saw you did a TED Talk. Talk to me about it. Now, that's not on my resume. That means that somebody looked me up on LinkedIn, saw what I was doing, maybe clicked a couple more links, and that came up, and they wanted to know what I was talking about within that TED Talk, right? And these little like interesting points is what gets you into the next round because people wants to ask questions about it. You know, when I talk about my YouTube channel, people want to ask questions about it, even if it's not even in the same realm as that. You know, that's why it's very important to have an interests line, because those type of interests, people might really align of what you care about, and they might care about the same thing. You know, it's a double-edged sword because they might not care about it at all. That matchmaking process is a little bit more smoother. Newsletters and press releases, emails are the same thing. You're just updating people on what you're doing, and sometimes that's like a weekly thing. Maybe that might even be a monthly thing. But I learned the value of it over summer when I was doing that during my summer weeks, and that was something that people kept seeing my name every day or every week to see that, oh, Saadiq is doing some type of work. And it's the same thing with the creator portfolio. Now when I go to cold email on LinkedIn or I go to message people out and stuff like that, I'm just putting my link up to my portfolio. So as soon as they see, hey, it's Saadiq, this is what I've been working on, and they click on and they're seeing like, oh shoot, that's a lot of stuff. Now I might be interested into going to talk to that person. Fortifying yourself to being an entrepreneur. Don't take my line. You know, I've been saying every college student, unless you're going to be a lawyer, a doctor, if you're not in that field, if you're not in that space in which you're a lawyer, a doctor, or you're going straight through for something, you are an entrepreneur, and you need to treat your student career just like that. So when I say that you're going to fortify yourself just in case you don't have a job, the idea is that you're going to create some type of business model around whatever field you have to try to figure out and pull out some type of income. And that should happen irregardless if you have a job or not, because they're saying that with AI, it's about, I think 10% of the labor force is at risk, which is a huge amount of population. So either way, you should be fortifying yourself up just in case when it comes to layoffs. Last like 3-4 years, especially when it comes to tech, especially when it comes to all these different fields, have been experiencing very bad layoffs, and not a lot of applications have been coming at the result of that, or postings or openings have been coming at the result of that. So you should be fortifying yourself regardless as an entrepreneur. This week I spent, literally it was like the first like 3 days, I didn't go to my girlfriend's house. I literally went downstairs, I plugged up my laptop to the second monitor, and I just sat in Excel for a couple of days and just tried to build out a model for my marketing. You know, like I create content for myself all the time. I've been a social media manager beforehand. So why don't I turn this into a business model in which I can pitch to a lot of the corporate clients that I'm meeting. I can pitch to a lot of the people that want to start up a business or want to start up this content generation, and make a business out of it. So that's what I did. First 3 days, I came up with it. It's actually fire. On a good year, you know, if I would have like 3 clients, I'm able to make like around 44,000 of extra income, and still outsourcing a lot of that work to other people because I'm not gonna be able to do everything. But I was able to factor that into the model. That's my passion. That's my path for a side income or a side hustle or something that's able to generate, and I'm fortifying myself as an entrepreneur. But there's multiple different paths. I mean, like this one content right here, you know, I treat it like it's plan A, you know, but it doesn't generate me any money yet. But there's multiple avenues in which you could try to fortify yourself as an entrepreneur. Go sit in Excel, go try to make a business model for something. You know, if you have a poetry page, if you have anything, you know, find different ways in which you try to use a trade, try to use a skill to go sell something or go kind of create this type of income. My friend, she does art, and now she's starting up an art page where she's able to get, I think it's commissioned, right, where she's an artist, somebody's going to tell her what they want, and she's going to do it, you know. And it's not just in the artist fields as well. If you're a coder, if you do UX, UI, where you're designing all these app interfaces, or you're learning how to build algorithms, people need this. You know, not just the top corporations, Google and Meta and all these different companies need you, but also like low, mid-level businesses are going to need this type of support. So it's cool that we're always able to find a pivot. You know, if the job market's terrible, then pivot. You know, like I spent the last couple of months, like I've been very stressed out because I'm like, yo, these last 3 years I've had an internship, and now it's like I don't even have a job. Like how does that work? But as I've been growing through the growing pains, sometimes you just gotta sit with yourself, and you gotta sit with all right, well, what can I do? What can I do? And that's the most important part. So that's what I've been doing. I've been building out this. I finished my marketing model. I'm building out a model for another avenue that I don't even want to announce yet. But I just been really putting pen to the sheets. I've been literally just locking in, trying to find any which way an avenue so I can able to supplement some type of income if I were not to have a job. So be creative in it, and we could brainstorm in the comments. Hit me in the first of all, comment, subscribe, of course. But we could talk about it in the comments. Somebody already started hitting me up outside of this and asked me about stock investing and even just like getting a time to hop on a call, because a lot of people need mentorship, a lot of people need some type of guidance, and I'm not gonna act like I have all the answers. I've been hitting my mentors and my sponsors and people that I could talk to, because this is a very loaded time, pivotal for the market, but also just pivotal for you as a person, right? Like, there's a lot of opportunity that's coming because AI is just a whole new space. Like comp size getting demolished because AI is coming in and they don't know how it's going to kind of like affect their space. But I would argue that like a lot of people that know how to code, a lot of people that know how to do UX, UI, you gotta be creative in which and how you're going to attack this type of like disruption towards your field. Because it doesn't mean that everybody is going to get wiped. It just means that a lot of cream is going to rise to the top, and a lot of people are going to get weeded out. But you don't have to succumb to that defeat. Like, I'm not succumbing to no defeat. If the job market is not there for me right now, then I'm either gonna find a way to kick myself in, or I'm gonna be like, yo, y'all missed out. And if y'all missed out, hopefully you can get me on the second round. But just like a Monopoly, the price goes up. The price goes up. So fortify yourself, fortify your career. Try to be entrepreneurial in the mindset and in the discipline. 10,000 hours. There's not more conversation after that. It's 10,000 hours. Whatever you want to choose, whatever you pick. It's just about hours, discipline, time, thought process, strategy. And then asking for help, asking for mentorship, asking for advice on stuff. I had my first draft of my creative portfolio, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, it looks so good, Saadiq." I took it to my mentor, Simone. She tore it up. Which hurt at first, but that's how, those are the people that you need, because now that she tore it up, now my portfolio right now looks way better than before. I'm still working on it and, taking criticism, but this is how you have to have the mindset of how to navigate this, because, it's, as I said before, it's a changing time, but it's a lot of opportunity, and the cream gonna rise. And you see, I don't know if you see the shirt, it's not cream, but it's pink. It's like creamish pink, but I'm gonna rise, and I want y'all to rise as well. Saadiq Ranks, Creative and Corporate. Like, subscribe. If you haven't checked out the investing video, if you haven't checked out the opportunities video, check them out right here. And with that, I think it's been good. Love.